Hello everyone, I greet you in the name of God Almighty. My name is Apostle Newton Silas and I'm here with Nancy Grace. And today we have a very interesting topic to react to. It says that, can science prove the existence of God? Okay, I think that's a very interesting topic. When we get down to the video, we can be able to know if science can prove the existence of God. So guys, if today happens to be the first time of you checking out my channel, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and follow me on my Facebook and Instagram. And if you have any video you want me to react to, don't forget to drop it at the comment section and I'm going to check it out. So guys, before we get down to the video, I'm a theologian and I make this video not to discredit anyone's religion. This is basically for educational purposes, and I believe that at the end of this video you and I are going to learn from it. So guys, let's get down to the video and check.
يا ربي يا ربي إني أسألك العفو ولم
The famous question posed by many people nowadays is that can science prove God? And what they really mean by that is, can science discover God? For understanding this, we need to distinguish the difference between proof and discovery. To prove means to establish a fact or a truth by evidence or argument. And discovering by definition is to see, to find out, or to gain sight or knowledge of something which was previously unseen or unknown. In short, to discover means that something should be seen or witnessed by humans' naked eyes, whereas to prove something means to provide evidences, reasoning or rational arguments in order to establish a fact, and it doesn't depend on our eyesight. However, science can always discover the signature of God in nature, which means science can always prove the existence of God through evidences. But through science, we can never discover God in this world. Now the question arises, why science can prove God but cannot discover Him? The answer for this is, Almighty Creator gives some sort of evidences or clues into His creation so that human being can accept His existence and to believe in Him. However, no human being or science can ever discover God, because this life is a test for us, and Allah created us and gave us limited abilities to be tested with. To get what I mean, suppose that you are a professional modeler who uses a strong modeling software and creates a project in which there are people with consciousness. It means that the models that you have created are having the power of intellect, and you put a test for them to find you. Now if you think logically, they have only two options to find you or to prove your existence in order to accept you as their creator. The first option for them is to discover you or to see you. But of course you don't want that, because it is a test, and if you show yourself to them, then the test becomes meaningless. And logically they can't discover you, because you are out of this created project. So if they can't discover you, it doesn't mean that you don't exist. But the second option is that you send them signs and evidences, and you also give them the power of intellect. They can find you through those evidences and their logic. It is like you have given them some tips for this test. And if they still don't accept your existence through those evidences, then it means that they are arrogant. Now think of yourself. You, your project, the world in which you live, and the entire universe are all created by a superior being. Don't you think that you are made in a mega computer? Actually, not a computer, but in a mega creation box? So when we are inside this creation box, we can just touch, taste, see, smell or hear anything which is physically inside this creation box. So these 5 senses help us to discover things which have connection with physics. But there are other things like love, like feelings, like intellect, meaning your mind. These things cannot be described physically. I mean, you cannot see, touch, smell or taste your feelings. Or you cannot discover love or your mind through these senses. Does it mean that you don't have mind or there's no love because you cannot see, touch or smell them? Of course they exist, but you cannot discover them physically. You can prove their existence through signs and evidences and using your logic. For instance, the sign for a sad feeling is crying. Or when you analyze the outcome of something, it is an evidence for your mind or your intellect. So don't think that God is inside this creation box and you can discover Him like any other thing. Because anything which is discoverable is not God at the first place. He's beyond this universe and even beyond your imagination. You cannot discover Him by the laws of physics, because physics discovers anything which is bounded by the laws of physics. And Allah is not bounded by the laws of nature. So anything which is limited by these laws is not God. That's why you cannot discover Him, but His existence is proven through evidences and logic.
Everything that we must verify has to be touch and feel. Yeah. But let me tell you something. If God could be touched and felt and seen, would that be God?
No, what you mean.
Would that be
It
God?
wouldn't really be a test of belief, would it? Because you would know.
It's not even just a belief, because God actually says there's good reasons to believe in Him. For example, look, do you believe you had a great grandma?
No.
Do you believe
Yeah, but I mean, there's obviously, I know that because obviously I'm here now.
Exactly.
Yeah,
but that's exactly the point. Have you ever seen your great grandma? You don't have access to her DNA.
I know
a grave?
scientifically, I would have to have one to be here.
Well, I don't know. See, that's the point. Using the terminology here. Scientifically, you have no clue. You have no clue. Scientifically, you're damn. Science say we can only verify the physical world and things that we can touch and feel. This is a non-verifiable thing.
Yeah.
The only way you know you got a great grandma is because you're here. You've made a logical, rational decision, not based on the physical world, based on necessity.
The complexity of this universe and the laws of nature are all evidences for existence of a wise creator who has designed them in such a precise manner. So if you don't see Him, it doesn't mean that He doesn't exist.
The universe actually may have a purpose, and some physicists are now suggesting it does have a purpose. And this has come out of some findings about the some of the fundamental numbers in atomic physics.
These are numbers like the mass, the weight of an electron, the weight of a quark, the strength of gravity, the strength of the electromagnetic field. About 20 numbers that describe those and other parameters, features of our world, but nobody knows why it is that those numbers have the particular values that they do. Now, you could easily say, yeah, who really cares? You change the mass of the electron by a little bit more, a little bit less. Does it really matter? And the answer is it does. See, it turns out that if you imagine that we had 20 dials right here, and we could fiddle with those 20 numbers at will, even a small change to the values of the known values of those numbers would cause the world as we know it to disappear.
For example, if we go back to, say, 1 second after the Big Bang, at that point, the expansion rate and the mass density have to have been adjusted to each other just right, so that the universe is just at this critical point. If the universe at that point were expanding just 1 part in the 15th decimal place faster, the universe would have flown apart without galaxies ever having had a chance to form. On the other hand, if the expansion rate were just a little slower than what we think by one change of 1 in the 15th decimal place, then the universe would in fact have expanded to a maximum size and collapsed. We would never have even reached the time in the universe at which we're living.
A natural question that many people ask when confronted with this is, who designed it so that they all fit together so perfectly to give rise to our world? Is it merely an accident? Is there some force of nature that's out there that requires the universe to be as it is? Or is there some conscious being behind it all that has dialed things in a manner to allow the world as we know it to come into being?
What we can do is look for evidence that suggests that we're not here out of total random events. And to me, the arrangement, the special balancing of the fundamental constants, the fundamental forces of nature, tells me that there is a being there that has put this package together, which has constructed this universe, someone outside the universe that was thinking about us and put it together for our benefit.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is great and majestic. He preserves himself in a majestic way that befits him. He doesn't want to reveal himself to the world except by his power and knowledge. And Allah created us in
Existence of God. Well, that's very touching and very interesting, watching a couple of people giving their opinion to if science can prove the existence of God. But then let's hear from Nancy Grace, before I round up, at the course of the video, what have you learned, and can science, actually discover God? Let's hear from you.
This video is very interesting.
Yeah.
And honestly, you have said a lot about God, about his existence as the all-knowing God, that no one can prove the existence of God. No science can prove the existence of God. He just preserved his way in a unique and in a way that we will not be able to prove it. We will not be able to find or to know his existence or where he is. I think this proves that he's the all-knowing God. He's the greatest. It shows that he's the one that created us. He's the one that owns the universe. Honestly, it just gave me the impressions that he's so powerful, and I just love everything about this God, that is a good God. And if we human beings can be able to find who he is, I think he will lose his, I don't know how to put it. So I just love the way he did his own thing in his own way. I just love it.
All right, that's a very interesting video. When we look at science is all about making experiments and then bring out a fact. And then if we are to talk about physics is all about study of energy and matter. I'm actually a science student too. Even from my name, Newton, it's supposed to give you a clue of who I am. But then it has become to conclusion that when you have a little knowledge of science, it says that you are an atheist. But then when you have an in-depth knowledge of science, then you will believe that there is God. Now, we are here talking about how to prove the existence of God, and Akul states that there is no any experiment or anything that you are going to do here on earth to be able to discover God. Whatever analogy or logical thinking you can be able to put out and says that you're going to find or prove the existence of God, I could tell you, my brothers and sisters, you can't be able to use that to prove the existence of God. At the end of the day, the only way that you can be able to prove the existence of God is when you return back to the scriptures, either as a Christian or a Muslim. Return back to the scriptures, return back to the Bible or to the Quran. That is where you can be able to find the existence of God. And in this mortal body here on earth, just like how God have decided to make himself, this mortal body can never, ever see God. This mortal body can only see God only when it dies. And when it dies, it does not still guarantees that you are going to still see God. But this body, this soul, will only see God only when you die, and then before you die, you have been obeying his commandment through the word he has sent to us, we the humanity, through his messengers. If you are able to follow his commandment, that is the only way you are going to what? To see God. But if you die as a disbeliever, you don't even believe in his existence, do you think you're going to see God? You will never ever see God. But when you die and you believe in his word, that is just the only way that can be able to lead you to see God. A very interesting video, and I so much love it. So guys, this is the end of our video. If you like our reaction, you should like, share and subscribe. And if you have any video you want us to react to, don't forget to drop it at the comment section and we're going to check it out. So guys, I know you have a lot, so you can drop it at the comment section. I will read them and I will respond to them. So bye bye.